Hello Internet, and today it's sort of a wrap up. So in August I participated in the NEWT readathon, which was being hosted and was created by Book Rose. So if you want to learn more about that and all the things that went on there, you can go and visit her channel. However, in the NEWT readathon, the basic gist of it is the NEWTs are an exam that you take at Hogwarts or at your final year of Hogwarts, and there is there are prompts for each subject. So there are 12 subjects in total that we know about in the wizarding world, and to get a passing grade you have to fulfill certain prompts in each subject. Now, to get an O you have to read 3 books, to get an E you have to read 2, to get A you have to read 1, and I wanted to get an O in all 12 subjects, so I read 36 books. Now, because I don't want to sit here and bore you guys or myself just talking about 36 books, I'm going to split my wrap up into 12 different wrap ups and talk about every subject that I did. So this first video is, and technically the first wrap up, is going to be what I read for my NEWT in Ancient Ruins. So Ancient Ruins, the first prompt that you get for acceptable is a book that is set in the past. And for this I read Lady Castle Volume 2. Now, Lady Castle Volume 2 takes place in a fantasy world that takes place in the past, like in medieval times. It is about a castle of people, and all the men from this castle, this kingdom, leave to go on a quest or do something, and they all get murdered. So the result is that there are only females left in the kingdom, and now they have to take over and figure out how to keep going as a kingdom. And they've also been cursed, so there's a lot of stuff that keeps attacking them, and they have to try to figure out how to survive and not get murdered. So they gotta learn how to fight, how to rule, the politics, all of that sort of stuff. I did like Lady Castle. You can book 2 or issue 2 technically. You can read it as the whole volume, or you can have individual issues. I read them as individual issues. So I did like the whole Lady Castle series. I thought it was really fun. It was entertaining. I think I would have liked it more if I had more time, if there was more of a story there. There is definitely a story, it definitely wraps up quickly, but I think it would have been better as a longer story or a longer graphic novel, or maybe even a series. There was just so much there, but if you like something short and quick and fast, then I highly recommend the whole Lady Castle little mini series that there is. So the second prompt for Exceed Expectations is read an ancient book. So read a book that's really old and that has been on your shelves forever. For this I read Percy Jackson Volume 2, which I believe is Sea of Monsters. So this is a book that I've owned for a really long time. This is a book of my childhood, and I just wanted to reread them. I've been wanting to reread the whole Percy Jackson series for a while because I want to continue and catch up with whatever Rick Riordan is doing now, because I want to read the Magnus Chase series, and I want to read about Apollo, and I need to finish the whole Lost Hero arc. So I decided, why not just reread Percy Jackson, as he did have a lot to do with why I'm such a sarcastic asshole sometimes. So I reread that. It was really great. It was a lot of fun. I definitely can see why I loved it as a kid, and I still love it now. So it was a great time. And then to earn an O in Ancient Ruins, the last prompt was a book that was translated, and for this I read Us Against Them, or Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. Frederick Bachman wrote it in Swedish, I believe, and then it was translated by somebody else. This is the sequel to Beartown, which I have spoken about before. I think I read it earlier this year, or in December, January sort of time. So Beartown takes place in a small town that it's called Beartown, and it's a small town. They really love hockey. Everything is riding on hockey there, and an incident happened, a horrible, horrible crime, where one of the hockey captains, one of the popular hockey players on the high school team, rapes the daughter, rapes a girl. And this girl happens to be the daughter of the general manager of the hockey team. So everything sort of starts to devolve because she confronts this boy and she tells people and she's like, hey, this is what happens to me. And so you kind of see what happens in this town when and how they treat her and her family and everything because she got raped by someone. And you know, the whole situation with like, what were you wearing, this and that. Basically, it's just a really, really, really good look at rape culture and how people are treated when they talk about rape, how people react, what their excuses are, how they claim politics, like all sorts of stuff. So I think it's just a great introspective view on rape culture. Now the second book, which is the one that I read, Us Against Them, is sort of the sequel. It follows the same characters, but this time it's more of a rising up after that, moving forward. So Beartown was all about this rape and how it affected this hockey town and the people in it, and Us Against Them is how it continues to affect everybody and how you're supposed to go on after something like this happens to you, happens around you, like that sort of stuff. So like, you get all the same characters, it makes references to the past. We're just gonna watch how the hockey town kind of grows, how they start fighting with each other, and how violence ensues because of all of the stuff that happened in the first book. I thought it was really, really good. It is a great book. I highly recommend both books. I highly recommend anything Frederick Bachman writes, while Beartown and Us Against Them are really serious books. They do have some funny moments, but I do think they are more serious. They do really take you on an introspective dive on how our culture and how our society reacts to these sort of crimes and these sort of situations and things of that nature. So I really, really highly recommend them. But like, of course, fair warning, there are going to be violence in these books, there's going to be rape talked about in these books, there's going to be assault, all sorts of stuff. If any of those things are triggering to you, I would not recommend that you read Beartown or Us Against You if you don't think you'll be able to handle those conversations. I do think it's well done. I think it's beautifully written. I think it's a great read and everyone should read it, but I do want to give you that warning in case you don't think you'd be able to, like, in case it like pulls up any bad memories for any of you guys, then I want you to be aware that that is going to be a major focus in both books. Even though Us Against You is the after, of course these things still affect the people and the characters of the book and still affect the town. So that is it. I have my O for Ancient Ruins. I am a genius. 100,000 points to Slytherin. Of course, these are really short, but there's going to be 12 of them. So I guess if each of them is like 5-10 minutes, that's a lot of minutes. So if you have any commentary about like the things that you did this month and you read, if you participated in this readathon and did you get O's, what were your goals for your reading this month, comment down below. Thank you for watching, and click all those bunnies down below, and goodbye, Internet.